Welcome, Lucky, to the call today. How are you doing?
I'm good, David. It's a nice one again being on your channel. It's a pleasure. I'm okay.
Yes, also thank you as well for joining us today. It's great to see you again. Um, I mean, I think I can start this discussion first by introducing you as, one of Africa's earliest advocate for decentralized finance. I think you're one of the few people who've been discussing DeFi long before, all these DeFi mania and craze, has happened in 2021. But even, before we even, start this discussion, maybe can you introduce yourself possibly to people who don't know who you are and possibly what you do in the space?
Okay, my name is Lucky Uwakwe, and I'm known as the king of decentralized finance, NFTs, GameFis, and social fi of late. I've been researching a bit around social fi, so I think I'll add that to my introduction. However, I've been an advocate for emerging techs like the likes of blockchain, especially for the African region. And I feel it's something that resonates well with our continent in Africa, where we feel that I feel personally that this technology would go a long way into opening up a lot of potentials and opportunities for a lot of persons. I'm also the founder of Sabi Groups, of course. There are other different products within that. I'm advisor to different blockchain projects around the world. I've been playing a lot of advisory roles or being part of core team for different blockchain projects, even before the era of DeFi, some other non-DeFi projects long ago, as far back as 2016. I've been advising a lot of different projects across the world, from Asia and Europe, America, Africa, just name it. It's been quite a time for me in terms of how active I've been in the space and also being a part of different projects as core team members. But of late, of course, I put my energy into the decentralized finance aspect of things and the potential the blockchain technology can bring to the continent of Africa. And that's where I've really hammered on lately.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And of course, thank you for your contributions to the space, Lucky. And I don't think we can discuss DeFi without discussing, what's hot and trending right now. Africa's meme coin, I'm sure you know of it, Wakanda Inu.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, like what a success it has been. We've seen, I don't think we've seen an African project like get this level of success. Maybe I could start by asking you, I mean, I'm sure you've obviously seen, the token and how it has performed. Maybe in your own words, what is Wakanda Inu?
Okay, interesting. Wakanda Inu about that everybody right now is talking about in the entire continent of Africa and even around the world. And for me, as part of somebody who have pushed for adoptions of blockchain, DeFi, and all those kind of different trends and stuff, I also align myself in the vision of what the communities of people who are believers or holders of Wakanda Inu. And as such, I find it a bit to be the new gem right now in the space. I say that because having seen the maniac that comes with meme coins like the likes of Doge, which the world richest man right now is a fan of, and he has really talked and tweeted about it a lot in recent times. And the likes of Shiba Inu, which is also another popular trend meme coin. Wakanda Inu is simply a meme coin that have leveraged on the technologies of blockchain, and it has also leveraged on building community, especially when you know that meme coins are basically coins that comes without necessarily promising you any value or return on anything. They're just purely based on joke. But beyond joke, it has now become something that you can leverage on to ride on the potential of building communities. When communities are built, products can also be established afterwards. So I think that's one of the things. But Wakanda Inu resonates purely with Africa, and it's something I'm even comfortable and proud to also align myself like every other community members of Wakanda or holders of Wakanda. And it's now the new gem right now in the world, and I think it's a big challenger to a $30 billion market cap for the likes of Shiba Inu and Doge that are all in their $30 billion something. Wakanda Inu is simply that project that is leveraging on the meme trend, first of all. But above all of this, it's a project that I've come to open up that African opportunities to what blockchain really is. If you look at the entire trends that have happened over these 11 years of Bitcoin existence, there have never been any African project that have gained a global attention or command a global attention like the way Wakanda Inu is. This conversation came from certain community where people were discussing around what will Africa give back to the world. It's not just about what we'll take from the rest of the world. And since myself as somebody who have advocated also for blockchain and DeFi adoption, the minute I heard about the ideologies behind what Wakanda Inu is, that's that anybody who is passionate about growing Africa, anybody who's passionate about putting Africa back into that global map will, of course, jump on that bandwagon. So for virtually me, or for virtually any other person out there who is within the African crypto space or within the crypto space around Africa, this was like that perfect timing for each and every one of us. And Wakanda, of course, is still a meme. It has not changed from being a meme, and everybody who knows what a meme is should take it as what a meme is, just like the way they would have taken Shiba Doge. But beyond all of this, nobody would have believed that the success that Wakanda have recorded within this short period of time would have been possible. And that automatically opens up blockchain startup. It doesn't matter. It matters not whether irrespective of the region or section where you're coming from. But right now, somebody can leverage and look upon the success of what Wakanda Inu have done, and they could point back that finger and say, yes, if Wakanda can do it out of meme coin, definitely we can. And I think right now the world is now waking up to say that Africa have come to stay in a global stage. And I think everybody should take Wakanda Inu seriously, for nothing, for the fact that this is, of course, the cradle of civilization. And we all know what it means for when Mother Earth or where the birth of civilization is coming back to say we are offering the world something again. And that's exactly what it is. This is much more than just a statement. This for us is the new thing, is the deal. It's that thing that put us back into a global map, just like every other continent of the world have been on the global map within the space of blockchain. But we've not really had any African project out there, but this is it. And I think it's a call for any other meaningful person out there who believe in this dream that some of us, like yourself, of course, through your platform, have helped to push for, advocate for blockchain adoption in the continent of Africa. There's so many other people out there who have been working one way or the other, including the order to help push for this. And I think for the case of Wakanda Inu, this is it. And that's why somebody like myself is also going to contribute my own quota to ensure that these projects get the required attention that it needs on a global stage, of course, on a global stage. So that's what Wakanda Inu is. It's still a meme, but the potential it has is far more than a meme, if you ask me.
I totally agree. I think it's really amazing to be able to have a successful African project like this. And now, speaking of success, Lucky, would you have the numbers of just how big, Wakanda Inu has become? Any numbers you can share with us?
Okay. Wakanda Inu, of course, had launched on the 7th of November. And today is already 21st, so at least it's like about 13 days now. Okay, no project actually, it broke a lot of records. First, let me start from the public sale. All right, they utilize the Pink Sale platform, which is like one of the places people can participate or raise funds through some sort of crowdfunding process, or what we call the IDO or launchpad, if you want to put it simply. Pink Sale, in their own words, have said No project had broken the record they had in terms of the total number of contributors coming together on their pool as at that time on the November 7th. Wakanda Inu broke that record and became the first project in the history of Pink Sale platform to have achieved that. That record is still there and verifiable, of course, on the blockchain. That's one. The second part is Wakanda Inu, upon launching, gained a total diluted market cap of over $300 million within a space of 1 week. Now, it's not a common feature for you to see a meme coin break such kind of a market capitalization record in terms of undiluted market cap. And at the peak, I think it got to around $41 million for market capitalization. Now, how many projects out there after launching within a space of less than 7 days hits $41 million market cap? It's not a common record, if you ask me. Beyond that record again, even though it's still a meme coin, a lot of people within the African communities, a lot of people in the global space right now are beginning to hold on to Wakanda like it's as if it's something that is so they treasure a lot. And I think personally for me, I treasure Wakanda so much that I'm willing to do or contribute my own quota to ensure that Wakanda stands out among all memes out there. As at the last time I checked in terms of the total numbers of holders for the token, even though it's a meme, I think it's somewhere over 83,000 people who are currently holding Wakanda Inu token. That's, of course, these records are verifiable on the blockchain where Wakanda Inu is built, but I think it's built on the Binance Smart Chain. So if you go to Binance Smart Chain, you can easily verify all these records for yourself. You don't have a lot of blockchain projects, whether it is meme within the meme category or even whether it is not within the meme category, where in less than 10 days, you've broken an 80,000 holders. It's not a common feature, honestly. The only reason why this is possible is because this has gone viral, or this want to have a piece of Wakanda Inu token. That for me is record, but not just record, but record from a meme project and record from a meme project within a continent that have not been known for building products within this space that the whole world will talk about at the same time. So it's really massive, honestly, if you ask me. And there is more to come because I think a lot of persons don't even know that Wakanda Inu even exists right now. But as more and more people are getting to know what Wakanda Inu is, everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon. Even though we don't have right now the likes of Elon Musk, who is a big supporter of Dogecoin, backing us or even tweeting about us. We are hoping that so many billionaires out there, so many respectable figures out there can tweet and talk about Wakanda Inu in their various social media platforms, just to give us a much more visibility. Of course, if the likes of Elon Musk had not also talk about Dogecoin, maybe Dogecoin would not have gotten the level of publicity that has gotten us at today. So Wakanda Inu is, of course, breaking records, and we think more records will happen. I'm passionately following the project in terms of participation, like every other person out there from a global community. But when I look at the numbers, when I look at the record, when I look at the purpose, when I look at the reason why this project has even come to stay in the first place, I know that there's something more to Wakanda Inu than just a coin. It's viral, and it's likely going to break even much more record than it has currently done as far as today is concerned.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that breakdown, Lucky. Now, speaking of, the success of Wakanda Inu, would you have an idea who is behind the project? For example, would you have that information so that we get an idea of exactly, the creators, for example, of the project?
Okay, like I said, the story and the passion behind Wakanda Inu have never come from the angle of one individual wanting to take glory for the project. It has come from the angle of where, according to the white paper, obviously, you could see that it was forged from the warmth of course, the African spirit of Ubuntu, which is something where Ubuntu is a concept within the African space where we believe that I am because you are because I am. It's a case of collective. Creators of Wakanda Inu have never come from the angle of where one person wants to take glory. It's coming from where the community is taking glory in terms of if the community had not participated in it, if the people had not joined forces together, like with the same spirit of Ubuntu, like I explained earlier, Wakanda wouldn't be where it is today. And I think that is even the concept of the African spirit. The true African brotherhood comes from where we want to share, we want to partake, we want to belong, we want to cooperatively do things. We don't want to rise alone. We want to rise with others. We want to become part of something that helps somebody else. Sometimes it might not be necessarily coming from direct benefit to you, but because you know it's going to benefit somebody else, you just want to do it. And that's the, like I said, before now, it's difficult for you to point out African blockchain projects that you can confidently say that raise anywhere close to $1 million without going through some of the craziest scrutinies I've seen. I know a lot of different blockchain projects before the ICO craze of 2017 or during the eras of 2015 and 2016 that were raising funds just by writing one of the smallest white paper. Nobody will ask you a question in terms of what you want to offer and all that. People were just donating the money as the case may be. But this wasn't the same narrative for most of the African projects who made an attempt at that time. In fact, it's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for an African project to try to raise funds from the same concept of community perspective, whether we want to call it the IEO or the ICO, whichever the case, it wasn't that easy for a lot of African projects. But you see, Wakanda's success is remarkable because after the success of Wakanda, according to the information that are currently out there, some couple of different African projects have been able to raise that fund without sweating. There are different blockchain projects out there right now. Within this benefit of what Wakanda Inu has offered. And they've been able to also raise funds, all by just pointing to the success story of what Wakanda has done. So this for me is another good success report, which is not a common trend or common phenomenon before the advent of Wakanda. Rewind back November 7th, when Wakanda Inu became a public thing, all right? You wouldn't have gotten this kind of story from any of the blockchain projects. Some of these blockchain projects who even leverage on the success story of Wakanda Inu were already preparing to launch before Wakanda Inu. But because of the success story of Wakanda Inu, we can be able to reference and point back to say, hey, this project launched just within the space of 1 week. Over 80,000 people are currently holding the token. Within the space of 1 week, they crossed an undiluted market cap of over $41 million. Within the space of 1 week, they crossed a diluted market cap of over $300 million. You don't have that kind of story out there as far as today is concerned. And because that is possible with Wakanda, we can now look back and say, yes, Africa can do it. And of course, I think we can, but for some reason, I don't know why we never put this level of energy like we are doing today for Wakanda. And I think Wakanda is that golden goose, is that golden hen, or the hen that lays the golden egg. And I think it's not just going to lay one egg, but a lot of golden eggs. And I think so many for the rest of the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've also, met a few founders who are now more confident about projects coming out of Africa. They're more confident in saying, look, I think the success of Wakanda Inu has shown that, you can actually build a successful project or even a product out of Africa. So I think Wakanda Inu, would you say Wakanda Inu has become like a foundation now for a lot of the projects, moving forward, for example, in terms of success, in terms of, being confident that you can actually build a product and it actually scales,
True, because you see some of the investors or VC players who sometimes invest in African projects. It's when I mean African project, I'm maybe specific or narrowing it down to the blockchain space right now. This is for some of those people who want to build something within there, who want to invest into an African blockchain project. The question they keep asking, numbers, record, how many X. People, though I'm not somebody who want to focus on price action mainly, but for some time, a lot of persons, not just in Africa, around the world also want to focus on price action. If you look at the price action in terms of what Wakanda Inu have done, I am yet to see any blockchain project that within a space of 1 week would make you have done 30x more than 30x to be specific, honestly, that have enabled you to do more than 30x. I think the right number is around 40x, all right? But just to be conservative, a blockchain project within any part of the world that under the space of 1 week will do you more than 30x, it's not a common one. Mm-hmm. I'm yet to see that blockchain project that will launch 7 days later, you can say within your records that you've done 30x. That example is what African founders or founders of blockchain developers or people who want to build a DeFi project, a meme project. It doesn't matter what project you want to build within African space. That example is enough for you to tell every other VCs or interested VCs who want to cash in on the young populations of Africa in terms of people who are building products from here. And you can tell them, you see, a project like this within Africa have done concerned around price action. You could tell them 30x. Bitcoin did not gain that level of popularity in terms of price actions to doing 30x from when it started within a space of 1 week. I'm yet to see that blockchain project that have done either 30 or 40x in 1 week. Maybe there are, but at least for the fact that we are among the few, which is the case of Wakanda Inu, that's for us is a global success.
I agree. Now, you also touched on the white paper, Lucky, on exactly what the project, was built to do. Maybe you can, if you don't mind, can you go back again and discuss the white paper again in terms of what the project was actually created for, and possibly tell us, is it just a meme coin? Can we look forward to other things from Wakanda Inu, apart from just being a meme project?
Okay, the truth of the matter is the concept and the narrative around meme coin have not really changed as far as today is concerned. But according to the white paper of Wakanda Inu, it's purely coming from the concept of building a meme coin that has some sort of charity orientations around it, which is around empowering the African communities, which is around empowering the world, but of course, starting from the African narrative, all right? That's what Wakanda Inu had come to do. But little did the community of Wakanda Inu know that we will attain this level of success. What I mean by the word we, I mean all of us, the 80,000 people who are currently holding Wakanda Inu as of today, all right? A lot of persons did not believe that it's going to gain this level of momentum. But hey, here we are. We're beginning to gain grounds, and not just grounds, we're covering territories. All right, and we hope to do that more, but sharing on the same concept of Ubuntu, not just for Africa, but for the rest of the world.
Yeah, so Lucky, looking at the project, it looks like the team didn't allocate themselves, anything from the white paper. Maybe can you shed more light on that?
Yes, absolutely. Upon reading the white paper, like every other person within the community, it is strange for you to have a blockchain project that a team will come together and not allocate anything for itself. But again, in the same spirit of Ubuntu, where the team participated in the public seal just like every other person out there. The information that is currently circulating shows that the team members of Wakanda Inu, who had come together to put in their level of expertise to build this wonderful meme token that is now taking the world by surprise, decide to do something that is a bit rare. Most times when you have blockchain projects that are out there, their founders do not necessarily participate in the public sale just like every other person. They might tell you like, okay, you can go participate in this or that and all those kind of stuff. But instead of doing that, the team decides to say, if we believe in this thing that we want to build for the continent, if we believe in this meme that will go viral, let's us also do what we would have done to other people by joining them in buying like every other person. This we learned in terms of the information that is now out there from the team members of Wakanda Inu. All of them participated participated like every other person. There was no team allocation. It was totally zero. Nothing was allocated to the team. Everybody came with the spirit of Ubuntu. And that is even one of the passion that is now driving somebody like myself to even see how I can also contribute towards the growth of Wakanda Inu. Because you don't have a team who have sleepless night, design a project, people from different parts of the world who are all developers, programmers, they contributed one way or the other to the growth of Wakanda Inu, scattered across different parts within the African countries, came together and they said, let's build this. And they were building it without taking a penny from it, building it without even charging for it, and putting all their own resources to ensure that this project work and see the light of the day. So for the team, it has never been around money making, because if it was around money making, you could clearly see it from the design. If it was around what they would get for themselves, they probably would not put in this level of energy and amount of effort to galvanize the entire communities to become part of Wakanda Inu. But guess what? They came together, did it, put in their expertise, put in their resources, just like other projects out there. But instead of allocating for themselves something, they said no, totally zero. They did not allocate for themselves. Rather, they took their own resources and money as well, bought like every other person in the public sale, and after the public sale, took back the same money that was raised and put it back into the liquidity pool of PancakeSwap, ensure that the project have enough liquidity for those who either want to sell or who want to buy. You don't get even projects that are not even mean don't even do these kind of things. Projects that are even serious, that have some sort of use case. They don't do this for themselves in the first place. But you see, in that same spirit of Ubuntu, which I had mentioned earlier, the community came together. The committee came together. The core team came together. The founders came together. The founders are collectively all of us. So if you're hearing about Wakanda Inu for the first time after this interview, just take note that you are not treated differently from any other person who had bought 2 days ago, yesterday, 1 week ago, including the team members who had all be part of this project from day one. So it means that Ubuntu spirit around oneness is still guiding the ethos and principles of it. As stated in the white paper, 0 for the team, and that is it's a very transparent process, especially for a project that you would least expect such level of transparency from. But here we are, and that has been set by Wakanda Inu. So jump in on this bandwagon, and you can be rest assured that you're never left out at any point in time. That for me is commendable, if for nothing, for the fact that I could put in all my effort and ask for nothing in return. That for me is the spirit of Ubuntu. This is Wakanda to the world. So I'm coming from the angle of if Wakanda Inu is a meme or there is more to it. I think there is more to Wakanda Inu for the fact that I could, looking at the last time I checked certain numbers, like a community that I just launched barely 1 week ago, having over 30,000 organic people who are not part of it. It's a case of where the last time you check the record, the next minute you're checking the previous record is becoming history, because everybody seems to jump in on the bandwagon. And that's the truth. For the Telegram community, over 30,000 people the last time I checked. For the Twitter community, over 12,000 followers as of the last time I checked. And this project is barely 1 week and some days old based on today. You don't have a lot of that kind of thing. This is not a case of where people are utilizing bots or something. This is a case of where organic followers, you hear about Wakanda Inu and you want to be part of Wakanda Inu. I think for a lot of persons, it's not just being part of Wakanda Inu, it's the Ubuntu spirit. It's the case of I am because you are because I am, and collectively we all are. All right. So Wakanda Inu have not changed based on the information as published on the website and on the original white paper that are out there. For the 80,000 people who are currently over 80,000 people or 83,000 people who are currently holding Wakanda in, to believe in what the concept is all about, even though it's a meme, and a meme that was originally built on the foundation of charity. But now you cannot have over 83,000 holders based on the last time I checked, and over 30,000 Telegram followers, and over 12,000 Twitter followers, and you will not begin to probably see use case. That is out there, it's ideal for any meme coin that attains such level of traction to begin to now build real use case. While of course meme cannot be taken away. Remember the case of Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu, which people tout as the Doge killer, having gained that level of hundreds of thousands of community or followers or holders, they started thinking, what can they do with this large number of community people? And they started creating real value. It's still a meme. Shiba Inu have not changed from meme, but today we have other products that people that can take advantage of within the Shiba Inu community. I think the same thing will most likely happen to Wakanda Inu, for the fact that they are even breaking more records when compared to that of Shiba Inu about this time when Shiba Inu started within 1 week of launch. And I'm yet to see a lot of meme projects that have broken the level or the type of record. Maybe if they have, probably I think Wakanda Inu have joined that league of people or projects that have done exactly the same. So hopefully, I'm believing that Wakanda Inu will do far much more than just a meme, even though it's a meme, and it's a meme that is taking the world by surprise.
All right. I mean, hearing you, break down Wakanda Inu, it almost feels like we should stop calling it the African meme coin, just call it the global meme coin, right? I mean, it's broken records even beyond Shiba. Like, it's impressive.
I think that's the right word. I think Wakanda Inu is the global meme coin. It will make a very good narrative. I guess this is how we all contribute some way, one way or the other, into making Wakanda great. Here you are on a live interview, bringing a very good concept, which I think might be good. Who knows? Maybe when the community hear about this, when the world hear about this, maybe we can now put it and say, you know what? Because Wakanda Inu have broken records, not just from the likes of other competing meme products, but it's breaking records upon record on a global stage. Let's call it a world meme. All right. So maybe that's the right way to go. And I think it's best I will try and reach out to the right set of people so that the world will now begin to call Wakanda Inu the right meme. I think for me today, I'm now a believer that Wakanda Inu is now the world meme, not just the African meme coin.
I totally agree. Yeah, so it is a global meme coin indeed. So Lucky, as we close, maybe any advice you'd give maybe to other African creators, who have projects that are they've probably launched or are looking to launch. I mean, based on the success of Wakanda Inu, what advice would you give entrepreneurs and African builders, and tell them, look, you can just be as successful with your project?
Absolutely. Okay, my advice to any person who's currently building within the continents, or my advice to anybody who's even building out there, basically, is that if a meme coin project can break this record just by building meme, how much more about you who's building something that have a direct use case? I think we can. All you need to do is galvanize on the strength of the people. All you need to do is make the people inclusive in what you're doing. All you need to do is to get the strength and support of the African people. All you need to do is to get the strength and support. Remember, the beautiful part of it is that among the demography of people who are currently adopting blockchain, the younger generation are high in comparison to any other person. People within the age bracket of 18 to 35 or into 40 are the highest adopters of this blockchain product. Now, if you come to look at the statistics around the world based on what have been released by United Nations, I think, you will still see that the young population of the world is purely or primarily domiciled in Africa. So any young person out there who's building projects should leverage on this and ride on the wave and momentum that your continent has offered you, especially if you are building from the African space. You no longer need to feel timid. You no longer need to feel intimidated. You no longer need to look down on yourself to think, I cannot do it. But I'm telling you, imbibe the spirit of Ubuntu, imbibe the spirit and strength of Wakanda, and you can point back and say, if Wakanda that was purely built out of meme true community collective, I can leverage on that same success, I can leverage on that same strength, I can call upon the communities and they will show me the necessary support. And I think right now, Africa is now waking up to understand that it is when we support each other that we all grow. And I think that's what has been a driving force for me for a very long time. And I'm not stopped now. In fact, the success story of what we've seen from projects like Wakanda Inu will become a much more bigger driving force for any of them. So if you're building, don't stop, keep building. If you need to leverage on the community, reach out. People will support you. People will talk about it. We'll make a trend because the numbers are here in Africa, and we don't necessarily need to look for where will the market come from. Start from home. When you start from home, the world will hear about you. And I think that is about Wakanda Inu. And everybody, of course, wants to be part of something that is moving. Everybody wants, it doesn't matter. We all became part of Bitcoin movement and the ideologies behind it. It's not because we knew who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It's because we see that what he is building has value, and it's now where the future is going to. The world, of course, is now moving into the case of blockchain, cryptocurrencies, digital currencies powering the next economy as we probably are envisioning it to be. And if Africa have the numbers and the strength, so if you're a founder, leverage on that. Don't show no mercy on it. And I believe in the spirit and the culture of the African people, of showing love and togetherness, oneness, unity, support, being there for each other. We will all be there for one another, and at the end, all of us will grow.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucky. I think that's a beautiful way, to end our discussion. It's been great, talking about, global meme coin, Wakanda Inu. And we can't wait to see, future projects.
That's nice. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's really...
Yes. So again, yes, thank you so much, Lucky, for joining us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything, I know I've already wrapped up in terms of my conversation. If there's anything out there for any of you that's listening to me right now, don't wait until Elon Musk tweets about Wakanda Inu. Maybe he might. And I'm using this opportunity to call on him if he wants to show us some sort of support from the African community, which is now a global meme. You hear some influential figure or persons talk about it. It costs you nothing to hold 100 million units of Wakanda Inu token in your wallet. If each and every one of us can hold 100 million units of Wakanda Inu token in their wallet, that might be the next big thing. It didn't cost a lot of persons who were in the earlier stage of Dogecoin to hold 100 million units of Dogecoin, and today it became something else. While, of course, continue to do your own research, continue to follow the fundamentals of what every other project will be. We ask you that you should show support to this global meme coin that's taking the world by surprise, and Wakanda to the world.
Thank you, Lucky. Indeed, Wakanda to the world.
Thank you.